Breaking: Mueller's top investigator fired. This is huge. Look what he did. In an interesting turn of events proving President Donald Trump's assessment and that of many Americans that the Russian collusion probe is little more than a witch hunt, Special Counsel Robert Mueller just fired one of his top investigators after he was busted sending text messages that expressed anti-Trump political views. The agent is known as Peter Strzok, and Mueller described him as one of the most experienced and trusted FBI counterintelligence investigators on his team. Strzok helped lead the investigation into whether Hillary Clinton mishandled classified information on her private email server. He has also played a major role in investigating so-called links between President Trump's campaign and Russia. Now we find that Strzok had a hidden agenda showing extreme bias against President Trump and his campaign. Strzok was unexpectedly reassigned over the summer to the FBI's Human Resources Department, where he remains to this day. His abrupt and immediate removal from the Mueller Russian collusion investigation followed the discovery of text messages in which Strzok and a colleague discuss various political events in ways highly critical of President Trump, demonstrating an extreme bias against the president. The exact content of the texts have not been disclosed, but whom he was texting was later revealed in a follow-up report, which also added further concerns about problematic behavior by Strzok. The Washington Post reported that Strzok had been texting FBI lawyer Lisa Page, who worked for Deputy Director Andrew McCabe and had been part of the Mueller team into the summer. Mueller has already received significant criticism for the extreme bias by compiling a team of nothing but Democrats and leftist donors to the Democratic Party, the Clinton Foundation, Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, and Bill Clinton judicial appointees. The left is touting Mueller's removal of Strzok from the Russian collusion investigation as evidence that Mueller moved swiftly to remove any perception of potential bias against the Trump administration. However, what it actually reveals is the deep-seated bias of Mueller and the FBI against the Trump administration, and most especially against President Trump himself with regard to the Russian witch hunt, of which no evidence has been found, despite what the leftist progressives would have us believe. Many on the left are touting Michael Flynn's plea of guilty for lying to the FBI as some sort of sign that Mueller is but seconds away from charging President Trump and members of his administration with collusion, and the so-called hash resistance has won some kind of victory. In addition to Flynn's guilty plea, he has agreed to cooperate with Mueller's ongoing investigation into Russian collusion and is prepared to testify that Donald Trump directed him to make contact with the Russians, initially as a way to work together to fight ISIS in Syria, reports ABC News. So nothing has changed. Despite the extreme bias of Mueller's team, including that of Strzok, who has now been outed and reassigned. A lawyer for Mr. Strzok declined to comment. A spokeswoman for the Justice Department said that we are aware of the allegation and are taking any and all appropriate steps.